combine's dead. It was dead when we went and got it. They did the tires. And now it's dead again. Just as well get a 760. Get a Massey. Maybe a Gleaner. Them things probably start all the time. Well, hey there. Today, on the episode of What Can We Screw Up? No, not really. Haven't killed any crops yet. So we're gonna try some new stuff. We were down at the Hefty Field Days and got to meet some guys from Spray Tech, and they were good enough to run some stuff up to us the next day even. We just wanted to try it out. I mean, I'm actually interested in doing this. That's why I went and talked to Spray Tech. So anyway, I'm going to be trying some stuff here. I'll show you what it is here in a minute. We're going to be putting on a fungicide on the beans. We're going to do an adjuvant, which is an NIS, basically, non-ionic surfactant. And then we're going to add the Spray Tech in there, which is, I'll show you here in a minute. So we're going to add this in there on top with our fungicide. This box will do 80 acres, so we're just going to do an 80-acre load. See how it goes. I'll probably skip a couple passes. So this is the one product we put in, and then here's the other we're going to put in. That's what we're going after, is the key. Haven't done this before. Usually we're doing some other stuff. I'm not going to really say what it is, but just because it might not work for you, but it works for us. I don't want to get anyone in trouble as far as what they put on their crops. But anyway, let's put it in. This is not an advertisement because I really don't even know how this is going to work. So here, let me cut it like this. Got to get Ivan up here, and then we can show us how to cut his fingers. You don't know this, but he about chopped his fingers off a couple winters ago with an axe. Ooh, she's purple. So that's the Full Tech K. Now I'll put the Full Tech Q/R in. And they do have an adjuvant, but we're just going to use our own. Oh, this stuff's green. Looks like a Smurf. All you youngins out there probably don't even know what Smurfs are. Here, we'll pour this one out. Oh, and then the secret sauce. Little Dawn dish soap just to make everything work better. It's mainly for the sprayer. It keeps everything kind of clean, and all them little pop-ins lube. Well, okay, now we got to put in our adjuvant. I mean our NIS. It's basically like honey, you know, it makes everything kind of stick to the plant better. Okay. Guess that's it. We'll fill her up with water and we'll put it on. Well, since we're doing 15 gallon an acre work, we got to bring her up to 1,200 gallons. That'll get us our 80 acres, our 15 gallon acres. So what have you been doing lately? Now that you got back from the Hefty Field Day?
Working.
Yeah. Well, you did work yesterday, and then Dane and I went and looked at airplane stuff.
Yeah.
At least we got one guy keeping the wheels rolling. Okay, we're gonna watch our water so we don't mess this up. Well, we're all loaded up. I love these tinted windows. I'm serious, guys. It doesn't seem like it looking out, but it is so nice not to have to, for it not to be so bright in here. Well, we're gonna do another test. Gonna put in another 80 acres worth of some Spray Tech stuff. Anyway, gonna put in some more of this Full Tech K, made in America. So it's naturally going to be better. So what I'm doing is on this load, basically I'm just going to spike my blend that I have already with other stuff in it with this, and we'll see if it enhances it. Other test we did earlier today was the fungicide, well obviously the fungicide, NIS and then just these two products. So anyway, we're going to dump them in, spray out 80 acres, and then we'll see in the op center this fall what it looks like. So what I'm dumping in is the Full-Tech Cube. There you go if you want to stop and read what's on the label. Full-Tech K going in purple. Now we gotta go change it in the monitor. I can look back and see what I put on. I'm just gonna change some stuff around and we're gonna go spray. Tire day. Probably wondering what the hell I mean by tire day. Well, we're switching tires on this combine. I don't know, a lot of guys like these LSWs. I'm not a fan at all. Not trying to run them down, just my own opinion. They're like a big sheep's foot. They pack the ground really hard. I've checked the air pressure in them and everything. They ride really rough going down the road, don't they? Yeah. The whole cab just goes. We traded in the 1250s and we're going to Alliance duals here. So anyway, we'll check back and see how things are going. We got to go get another combine. We're going to do them both. They got a different type of rim on them. They got a top hat rim, they say. Should work out good. That's who we bought the tires from. We'll come back and check here in a little bit. Well, Ivan and I just went and got the pickup. Come back and he's already got it all torn apart. Said he's done it like 1,000 times, so I guess you get good at something when you do it that much. You know, you could go into the high-speed planetary changing business. You'd have that off and switched out in no time.
Yeah, I've done a few, but usually when they break, it's laying on the ground. And
oh yeah, that ain't no good.
No.
Everything come apart pretty good then, huh?
Well, it's not that old of a machine, so
no.
I wasn't expecting to have to.
Well, yeah, 2 years, yeah. I suppose, what's your challenges on these things when they get a little older?
Oh, them dowel pins will rust in, and
oh yeah,
the dowel pins that go in there, and then the nut done, the truss rod will rust in.
Yeah. Do you have many guys going from LSWs to these, or is it the other way around, or is it a guys just all?
It all depends on the guy.
Yeah.
I just wish when they sell the LSWs from factory, they would put the big frame extension in it right away instead of putting that short one in there.
This is what it's supposed to be?
15 and a half, and that's 12.
That's factory, ain't it?
That's factory. Well, this is an aftermarket. The other set I got is factory, but it's just used.
Well, he's going to have that on in no time and then start slipping the duals on. And it's just to put the bolts in. Well, that sure saves a shit ton of work. What did you do before they had these things?
I had a regular crane and you would run straps around.
Oh, so it was a little more dinking around.
A little bit.
There you go. Got a set on already. We got to go get the other combine because he'll have this done before we even get back. Well, we went and got the other combine. Well, you got this one done. Nice set of duals on her. Brand new 650s. Should work pretty nice. And then we got a nice set of Firestones going on the other one. So these are factory takeoffs. Guys that wanted to switch out tires for something else, LSWs or whatever. And then we have a really nice set of Firestones going on the other one here. Well, we'll see what that looks like when them get put on. We're gonna go hook onto the corn header and we'll put this combine back in the shed. So I learned something the other day. The sprayer guy told me. He says, when you're starting these newer pieces of equipment, whether it's a combine, a sprayer, or a planter, or anything, a tractor with a planter on it, you have to turn the key on and let everything boot up, and then you start it, because otherwise it's in the process of sending a signal back and forth two controllers to make sure everything is working, and then you're turning it on at the same time, and so some stuff kind of could get messed up, and I think it's kind of hard on them. So just little words of wisdom from a John Deere tech. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but right there we put legs on all these chopping corn heads, because otherwise what happens is guys will set these corn heads down and they set them right down on the curtains and everything, and it wrecks all the curtains underneath and the whole works. So we put these legs on here with a pinhole in them, and then it keeps the stock stompers off the ground and everything. It just, maybe the new ones come with legs, but if you haven't done something like that, put them on. It's so nice. Now Ivan's gonna lock the pins in. Out with the old, in with the new. Gonna have that one switched out. Go put this one in the shed. Well, we made her back to the sheds. It's a really tight fit going in here. Oh, we gotta wait for the DEF to quit pumping. Okay, so disconnects off and should be good to go now. Morning again. So we just sold our Brant grain deck. Sold it to a farm over in Argyle, Minnesota, which is just probably an hour away. Yeah, so they're coming over to get it. Ivan and I just give it all a full greasing, and Ivan checked the air pressure on them and filled them up, right? Yeah. If you guys are ever looking at a grain deck like this, I'm just going to give you a little advice. They come two different ways. You can get them electric or you can get them hydraulic powered. Well, we bought this one hydraulic powered. It wasn't what we wanted or what we thought it was. So the hydraulic powered one, it heats up the hydraulics on the tractor, whatever you're using. Number two, the hydraulic motor doesn't spin the belt as fast enough or have enough power when you really put a lot of grain in it to feed a 13-inch auger. We bought the kit and put the electric motor on. Frankly, that is kind of the only way to go, it seems like. So anyway, this is how we did it. Just that and a disconnect and hose. Anyway, she's going down the road since we don't need her anymore. Oh, looks like LP truck showing up. Boy, that's a goofy looking tank. I've never seen anything like that before. Huh, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but definitely a different looking propane tank. Well, we had some issues again yesterday. Sprayer issues. One part of my section of my boom, the outer right, quit working on me. It's like the third time this has happened. We did get it figured out. They did get a tech out. I don't know what time he showed up, but he got us up and running about 4 o'clock yesterday. Found a corroded end that goes down into the turret. One of these deals right there. So there's little cords that come in to the top of them. One was corroded, and they're kind of like Christmas lights. So if one acts up, it affects the next one and the next one. So it kind of gets a little confusing on which ones, what the problem one is. For us this time, it was jumping around. It would like jump from left to right to left to right. I mean, it'd jump like between 10 different ones and it'd come back. And so I didn't really know what to do. I think there's a fix coming for that, but yeah, it's just a little frustrating, you know, 2-year-old machine. So, but that's just the way life goes. Dane, he's busy spraying. I wish I had a camera for him. I wish I would have sent one home with him. He's been spraying with the 4450. And then we're gonna get this thing hooked up. If you guys don't recall, we bought this last fall. It's a deep bander. It came from over by Grand Forks, North Dakota. It was a CHS unit. They built it, they used it to deep band in front of like sugar beets and stuff like that. So we purchased it from them. We're gonna use it for deep banding P and K in front of corn. And you also can put, you know, your nitrogen down if you want, or some anhydrous. It's all set up for that. We had Austin out yesterday. We hooked up to it, and it's got a Raven controller in it, so it did come up on the interface on the John Deere monitor. everything's talking there. Whether everything's working or not, I don't know yet. Quite a unit, but I'm hoping we can get everything to work the way it's supposed to. They had it ready to go. They'd spent a bunch of money on it and got it ready for the next season, but then decided not to use it because they couldn't cover enough acres in a fall to really justify the units. So that's just how it turned out. Well, we're gonna go get the 4320, the box blade, and we gotta move some gravel around, try to get it to dry out by that bin site there. Kind of got a spot that keeps collecting water. Haven't gotten any rain for a few days, but we need to get it dried out so we can replace it and get it packed. Load number 2 going in there. She was at 30% when he started. Let's see where she's at now.
About 60, so he must be about done.
Can't say I've ever seen a trailer like that on the road. Well, let's do a little box blading when we're waiting for that guy from Argyle to show up before we can go spray. Let's get this thing started. Got our little John Deere box blade. Here's my mess. So the water comes down in through here and it doesn't go around. It wants to go that way, so it gets trapped in here. We need to build all this up, build it up, slope it, so the water will come from there, come this way, and go around. I placed gravel in here before we got the last rain and didn't get it packed good enough, and everything coming off the roof went down in here and it's made a little bit of a mess. So I'm gonna stir it up a little bit with the box blade here and then try to get it dried out a little more, and then maybe tomorrow I can mess around with placing it and packing it again. Well, that looks expensive. And the bright side, there won't be any dust here anyway. Looks like nozzle must not have shut off. At least it's only highway fuel. At least it's just diesel fuel. I mean, if it was water, that'd be worse. Anyway, the combine's dead. It was dead when we went and got it. They did the tires, and now it's dead again. Just as well get a 760, get a Massey, maybe a Gleaner. Them things probably start all the time. We used to have a 760. That was the first combine I drove. I guess we'll leave the charger on this dead combine. Then we can go spray. I better call Ivan because he's probably wondering where I'm at. Well, we're getting folded out here. I got the herbicide in the tank. Since it's after August 1st, past nesting, or whatever that is, you can early out CRP. We're gonna spray it out, and then from whatever date you say you're gonna take it out, then they prorate it, and then you pay the, well, if you're renting the land, you pay the landowner the difference of his CRP, because he'll be shorted the government that pays him to keep it into grass like this. So anyway, we're gonna do about 140 acres. So I'm gonna explain a couple things here, I guess. So a couple of you are probably gonna say, well, why not hay it? Why waste all this? I could see if you're in a droughty area right now, you'd feel pretty, you know, like what the hell. Honestly, to take out CRP, we've done this enough where if you hay it off, well, you don't get enough regrowth to burn it off and to get it work back. Anyway, it's a complete system. If you hay it off, and let's just say you go in and you're gonna plow this, well, all you're doing is dumping that organic matter down in the ground, or all this sod, and it's gotta break it down. Well, your first year on beans is gonna suck. What we do is we come in here, we'll spray this off, and then what we've been doing is we'll come in and we'll mow it, take all this type of stuff here, and put it down in here. And this is probably thick enough, we might not have to do that, but certain types of grasses, like your canary grass, which is a big bladed grass that's kind of a swamp grass, so to speak. That doesn't like to burn very well. It wicks water up through the stem, so you got to get it mowed off. These are just things that I've learned over here. This is a nice, just prairie type grass. Some of you probably think that's real pretty, but to me it's not. It's just kind of a waste. If you manage it right, you're not hurting the ground. There's a lot of good things that come along with this, as long as you don't abuse the ground. And this is not highly erodible ground. This is very nice, heavy black soil that got put into CRP many years ago because lack of options up here, basically. At the time, the government actually was bidding more than the local farmer could probably pay at the time. That has changed a little bit now. I think they're supposed to be more in line with county averages, not overbid the county average rent, so that way they can acquire more CRP. Because I know that many years ago that was kind of the thing, is it was outbidding local cash rent. That's why there was so much of this in our county. I'm talking tens of thousands of acres of ground like this. But we're gonna get this sprayed. This is about 30 acres here, and we have another 40 acres over there, and a couple more fields over there that are part of this farm. That how they were enrolled is how they come out. So this field here is a couple years behind the other parts of the field that we already farmed. So anyway, so the reason we're not haying it and we're spraying it is because we need to burn it. And when you burn it, the ash turns into more of a usable fertilizer, almost, so to speak. And then we do not aggressively till the ground. We use what they call a quick till, which is basically a high-speed disc, and we work it from the top down. So we'll work that sod layer down an inch or two past the sod, and then in the very end we'll hit it a couple times, chop that sod up really good. Basically all vertical tillage. We don't actually dig the soil because there's a lot of aggregate and there's a lot of good stuff down in there, so we don't run a chisel plow in here or nothing like that. And then I'll come in and ditch it, and then we'll fertilize it and get it ready for next year.